Okay, welcome to the CGS Biblecast. We have a good one for you today. We're talking about talking donkeys. That's right, talking donkeys. So this story is really awesome. I love it. I love it so much. And it's in here because it's an amazing story, but it is a little random of a story. I'm not going to lie. It's out there, but it can teach us things. So you have this guy, Balaam. He's just kind of showed up here in chapter 22. This king asks him to curse. Let's see. Please come and curse these people for me because they are too powerful for me. And he basically says, like, listen, these people are there's like millions of them that come up out of Egypt. He's obviously talking about Israel. And he asks them to come and curse him until they get out of there. So he doesn't feel good about it. God tells him not to do it, but he keeps these people around for a little longer. And they kind of talk him into it. And God's like, okay, I'm not happy about this, but you can go with him. So next morning, Balaam got up, saddled his donkey, started off for the Moabite officials. But God was angry that Balaam was going. So he sent an angel of the Lord to stand in the road to block his way. As Balaam and his two servants were riding along, Balaam's donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a withdrawn sword in his hand. The donkey bolted off the road into a field. But Balaam beat it and turned it back onto the road. I don't know why I missed this before, but basically he's just beating, he's hitting this animal to get it to obey. So what's happening is the donkey, I have a serious urge to say that in the voice of Shrek, but I don't think I have a very good impersonation, so I'm not going to do that. But so you have this donkey that's getting beat and abused in a way, really, just trying to get it to submit. And then the Lord does something really, really cool. Verse 28, then the Lord gave the donkey the ability to speak. And here's what he says. He says, what have I done to you that I deserve your beating me 3 times? It asked Balaam. And he says, you made me look like a fool. So it's funny to me that he's just like talking to this donkey. He's like, you made me look stupid. What do you mean? And there's not like he was shocked that this donkey's talking. No, he just back talks it. What do you mean? You made me look like a fool. If I had a sword with me, I would kill you. But I am the same donkey that you have ridden your whole life. The donkey answered, have I ever done anything like this before? No, Balaam admitted. In verse 31, I like this. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the roadway with drawn sword in his hand. He bowed his head and fell face down to the ground before him. Isn't it a little bit ironic that a donkey was more spiritually perceptive than Balaam and the prophet? Pride, self-importance, money seemed to throw this wayward servant of God off track. And he knew the Lord didn't want him to go to Moab and curse his chosen people. And at first he obeyed, but deep down he really desired to go. And so he compromised. He tried to buy time and see if God would change his mind. And God even said, go, but God had a plan of his own to get Balaam back on track. Isn't it just like God to use the most random and unlikely source to teach us valuable lessons? I've never had a donkey speak to me before. I've never had an angel wielding a sword trying to force me off the roadway. I've never had any of those things happen to me, but Balaam did. And this animal had enough sense to know that it wanted to be no part of that angel standing in the roadway. The animal could see it, but the prophet could not. And isn't that just like life? Sometimes the most just regular people, faithful servants of God, can see it clearly, but the prophets, the ones that are called and set apart, can't. And so it's a really important lesson there to be paying attention to the voice of God at all times, because you can easily miss it. So what can we learn from this donkey? First, when God asks us to do something, he wants us to be totally obedient. Why? Because partial obedience is still disobedience. Also, when we move out of God's will, he puts roadblocks in our path to steer us back on course. God wants us to live our best lives without compromise or pride. So take a lesson from the donkey and stay on track with God's will. And you will be blessed and be useful to God, even in the strangest, most random circumstances. So make sure you are paying attention to the voice of God and letting him steer you, because it's really, really easy to get off course in life. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of temptations and things that the other important people will bring along your way. And great opportunities are going to be presented to you. But if they're not the will of God, if they're not going to make God happy, it's not worth it. You don't want to be outclassed by a donkey. Have a good day. Don't be outclassed by a donkey.